Hi, my name's Sam, my pronouns are they, them, and welcome back to my office. So, it is currently Wednesday, and starting this off very late, but hopefully I'll be able to get a lot done. So, right now I'm on page 90 of Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. Well, I'm probably like a quarter of the way through this, and I don't know if I don't like it or if I just really dislike how small this print is. Like, look at how teeny tiny it is. Maybe I just have bad eyesight, which is probably the case. But, gay vampire family, I guess. So, as of right now, it's basically this dude who found this vampire, and he's like, will you sit and let me interview you about your life for this radio show, because that's what I do. And Louis is like, or Luis, I don't really know. He's from Louisiana, so it might be Luis. So, and he's just kind of telling his life story, how he was turned into a vampire. We're only like probably like 4 or 5 years into his vampire life, and he's been alive for like quite a long time. So we got a lot to go still. I think we're at the point where he might be like adopting his child. I don't really know. I don't know if the companion he's with right now, Lestat, is supposed to be the love interest or not. But if he's gonna be the love interest, like, I really don't like him. I really, really don't like him. He's pretty gruesome, which is not the vibe for me. So not super duper loving this, which kind of makes me sad because, like, Anne Rice is supposed to be like a classic vampire writer, and, you know, to be fair, I don't know if I really like vampires very much. It took me 6 months to get through, like, less than half of Twilight, and then after that I just put it down, and I was like, I hate this. So, it might just be a me thing, but I still want to give it, like, a fair chance. I kind of want to get at least 2/3 of the way through before I decide if I hate it or not. But there's my reading update. So, let's talk about my plans for this week now that I've done that. So I just got in my copy of Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. I just got that in, so I'm hoping to read that this week, or at least try to. It's my one that I think that I really might have to DNF, because it's got some, from what I understand, it's got some hardcore body horror. And I have a very low tolerance for gore. It's just not my thing. So, but I still want to give it a try. I'm just curious, you know? I'm just curious because everyone really loves it. So I'm just kind of dipping my toe in different kinds of horror to see which direction I personally need to go. So this is kind of going to be like finding my horror niche. I don't think it's going to be this. I also am on the lookout for a copy of The Monsters of Elendhaven by Jennifer Giesbrecht, because I'm super interested in that one, but I'm not sure. I also might go to Sorrowland, because that sounds kind of fun. So I'm in a super spooky mood right now. I've got some hardcore orange lighting going on in the background, and I feel like I want a good old-fashioned pumpkin spice latte, but my girlfriend currently has my car. So, I think that I might take you along to make some pumpkin spice syrup with me. I found a new recipe that I'm interested in trying, so I think I'm going to have a little bit of dinner, and then we will defer to that. Yeah, so this week's going to be dedicated to narrowing down that horror niche. So let's go make a latte. Okay, okay, hi, updates people, updates. So, I have decided, ooh, that I almost knocked over my coffee. Okay, so I have actually, we're gonna do reading updates, and then I'll do life updates. So I've actually gotten to page 142 of Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice, and I have decided that I hate it. Not so vehemently where I'm like, this is poorly written, this is awful, this is terrible, but more to the vibe of I would read 20 pages of it and then I would fall asleep every single time. I have been trying to get through this stupid book all week. Right now it's Friday. I've like wasted my entire week on just this book when I have better things to do. And even when I started it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not. I don't know if this is gonna be the vibe. I think it's boring. It's literally just this dude sitting down with this vampire and like asking about his life. And I know that everyone's just like, okay, but like, gay little vampire family. But like, we have not gotten to any, I mean, I don't know if we got to the gay vampire family or not, because I'm not going to read it anymore. Potentially we did. Potentially we didn't. I think it's boring. I think that I don't like vampires. I think that's where I'm at. So, we're going to go with that. And just be done with Anne Rice and say that's not the vibe. Nothing against her, but I feel like she's like classic vampire lady. And if you don't like vampires, then obviously you're not going to like her writing. So, that's where we're at. And better things have happened. So, I don't have it with me because it's in my purse. But I started Sorrowland by River Solomon last night. And so far I love it. I love the writing. I'm only like 10 pages in because I was reading Interview with a Vampire and I was falling asleep and I was like, let me just start over and try something else. So I'm really loving it so far. I think that the writing's really interesting. I think that the diction that he uses is really interesting and I'm excited to move forward with it. But I have also started The Monster of Elendhaven by Jennifer Giesbrecht. And oh boy, am I excited. It's like a 4-hour audiobook, so it's pretty short. So I've gotten through like over an hour. I'm on chapter 5. I've only got 4 more chapters left. They're fairly long chapters though. Like one chapter is over an hour long. But so far we've been introduced to Johann, who is the monster of Elendhaven. And he is basically like this human creature thing who appeared on the docks one day, unnamed, and he learned everything about the world by killing people. Like, he would have people kind of start teaching him things, and then he would kill them. So he has gotten kind of into cahoots with Florin. I think his name is Florin, who is a sorcerer on this little island of Elendhaven. And he is kind of like creating the downfall of the island itself, which I think is really interesting. So he's like from a family line that has been on the island since it was first founded as Elendhaven, and slowly his family has like come to its downfall basically. So he's an accountant to like all of the bigwigs in town, and between his accounting skills and his sorcery, he kind of pushes them in all the wrong directions to create their downfall and to kind of create the downfall of the island, I guess. I don't completely understand the reasonings of everything yet. They've kind of hinted a little bit at like a young girl being involved with it, like possibly like her death when she was a child or something like that. I don't really know. But I really like their dynamic. He's Florin, whatever his name is. fluoride, whatever. He is kind of prim and proper, and he's kind of like maniacal in a way, but like in a very you want to like him kind of way, where the monster of Elendhaven is very like brash and funny, and he likes to poke at him and like make kind of sexual comments and just be a general nuisance. And I really, really enjoy their dynamic. I like the writing style of it. Overall, so far, I just really genuinely enjoy it, and I think that I was right in my assumption that this was going to be one of my favorites of the month. But yeah, time to get back on track. Those are my chicken nuggets. I gotta go. They're dinosaur shaped. I'll check in later. Okay. Hello. So another quick update, because I realized that I did not tell you about my plans for tomorrow, which are obviously more important than any reading that I could do. Also, we are in my living room because my partner is at work. Yes, I do have pride flags as curtains, and yes, there are little menacing horror icon silhouettes taped to my window year-round. I like to make my neighbors not want to talk to me. So, right now I'm setting up to watch the new episode of Watcher and work on a project for another video that'll be coming out eventually, hopefully November. But tomorrow we are celebrating Sadie's birthday. If you don't know, Sadie is my 13-year-old corgi mix, and she is the light of my life. We are celebrating her 13th birthday tomorrow, so we are going to stop and get her a treat towards the end of the evening, and then we are going to put her in her little coat, and we're gonna go walk through a holiday lights trail. Right now it's Halloween themed, and it's gonna be so cute. So I'll definitely take everyone along for that, because obviously you want footage of my little old lady in a fuzzy orange coat walking a Halloween trail. Obviously, that is what you're here for. So I wanted to give an update of that before I started my Watcher episode. Updates. I have not gotten much farther on Sorrowland yet, but I did finish the audiobook for The Monster of Elendhaven by Jennifer Giesbrecht. Loved it. Loved it with my entire heart. Like 4 to maybe a 4.5 star. So it was a short one. Like it was only like 3 or 4 hours for an audiobook. It really isn't bad. And it's about this sorcerer, and in this little island, Elendhaven, sorcerers were basically banned and hunted down. But his family, they were founders of this little island, and over the generations they've become very poor, very like not well known. Everyone, like outsiders, have come and taken everything from them basically. And there's this plague that happened when he was a kid that killed his whole family. The townspeople locked his entire family in their house, and left them all to die because they were panicked, and they were like, this is coming on, like this plague is happening to us because of the sorcerers, and we feel like this family is the cause of that. They're the ones with the sorcery to do so. So his entire family died except for him. Little beknownst to pretty much everyone, he actually was a sorcerer. And the death of his entire family was like his big villain arc. So his entire end goal is to reproduce the plague in a way that it cannot be stopped. It just will go on forever. As like basically revenge. He gets this kind of creature who he refers to himself as the monster of Elendhaven. And he's this creature that crawled out of the ocean, and he's basically immortal, invincible kind of vibe. Like, he can slice his throat open and it'll just heal back together. He starts to work for him, the sorcerer, and he uses his blood to help make the plague kind of this immortal thing like he is. Little does everyone know is that there's actually a mage hunter in town hunting him down to either try and cure him or to kill him. And that's kind of all I want to say for that. I think that it was worth it. It was queer. It had some really interesting lore. I loved the world building, and I wouldn't say that this one is like safe for younger audience. I would definitely say that this is an adult, because there's definitely some vulgarities, some sexual acts, some degradation, all that fun stuff. So it was kind of amazing. I think that it was the perfect length. I think that it ended exactly where I wanted it to end. I think that it was just beautifully done. I loved the writing style. I ultimately, like, the characters really did it for me. The monster of Elendhaven himself, he was just vile and a flirt and crude and like pure monster. I loved him. I thought he was so fun to interact with, and to kind of see how the dynamic between him and the sorcerer worked. I loved it. I really loved it. Like, I feel like I've gotten through like the bad of my spooky TBR now. I feel like I've pushed through it. I loved the monster of Elendhaven. I think I'm on page like 30 or 40 of Sorrowland, and I'm loving it so far. I think it's really interesting. We got our main character, Vern, who escaped this kind of cult thing. I don't really have a lot of background on it at this point in the story. So we've got Vern, who's 15, and she just gave birth to twins in the woods. She has been running away from this cult. I think they call themselves the Canaanites, for the past 2 months, and she finally gave birth. She, from what I understand, she's giving birth to like the cult leader's children, but that's not confirmed. I don't know that yet. And she's kind of being hunted down by this dude. So we're just getting snippets of like little pieces of what life at the cult was like, and then where she is now, running for her life with her 2 babies. So I think it's really interesting so far. I really enjoy the writing style, and I'm pretty excited to move on with that one. I am going to start the audiobook for The Picture of Dorian Gray next. So I'm gonna go do my shit. finishing up an outro here. I totally did not finish or even get anywhere close to where I needed to get with Sorrowland. I got very distracted by Sadie's birthday celebration yesterday. So we had so much fun. We got ice cream and we went on the super cute little trail that they're doing behind a school around here. She's hardcore looking out the window right now. So it was very, very dark because it was night, and I totally thought it was going to be lighter than it was, so I did not get great shots of her, but I got some shots of her that you guys saw. And she got to play with a bunch of kids, and it was so fun, and she had such a good time, so I got very distracted by my child's 13th birthday! Are you 13? Yeah. Are you 13 now? So, yeah. I would say that this was a pretty successful reading week. I've definitely got a lot to do for next week, which I think is like the last week that I have to get things done. Yeah, next week's the last week that I have to get all this done, but I think it's manageable. And then come November, NaNoWriMo starts. So I'm prepping for some busy months, but we got this. So I'll see everyone later, and I hope you have a really wonderful week and are prepping for spooky season to your heart's desires. Bye.